Hello, I'm Dan. Welcome to the JeepSolid Garage. This is my 1958 CJ5 that I just picked up. I'm so excited to start working on this thing. When I picked it up, the previous owner, it would turn over, but it wouldn't quite start. We're gonna see if we can get it started and running for longer than we did in that last video. And we're gonna take a look at this thing, see what we got in this CJ5. There's some compartments in this thing I haven't even looked in. I don't even know what's in there. Could be money, tools, paraphernalia, who knows? We're gonna take a look at that, see what I got with this project, what's broken down, what needs to be replaced. So excited to start working on this. Let's take a look. Now, when I first saw this on Facebook Marketplace, I was pretty excited because it said it runs and drives. Well, that is not the case. First off, the brakes do not work. It has no brakes. Brake pedal goes all the way to the floor with no resistance. Other thing, it does not start. Let's actually take a look at that real quick. As I mentioned earlier, it would turn over and it sounded like it wanted to start. It was trying, probably something wrong with the carburetor. Let's hook the battery up and see what we got. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but there's literally spider webs there. So I want to clear those out of the way before I start messing with it too much. But the gear shifting here, like that's totally new to me. Fortunately, there's a little guide there which I can kind of read. Reversed, first, second, third, so neutral. And that's out and in for the four-wheel drive high. Wait, there's low and high. So there's out and in. So you gotta like switch it between out and in to switch it between low and high, I believe. But I wanna make sure this thing's in neutral, which I believe it is. I think if I do a push test here, I think it's in neutral. I just don't wanna turn it over and have it try rolling away on me. Yeah, that's neutral. So let's try turning it over and see what happens. This thing is so nasty. I don't even want to sit on the seat on all the mouse poop. Let's see here. Oh, there's an oil light. Amps, that lit up for a second. See what happens here. Oh yeah. Okay, that's good. Let's leave that on actually. I'm gonna add a battery charger just while we're fiddling with it here. See, that's ground. This is positive. And on the starter solenoid, if I bridge this gap right here, yeah, okay, that'll turn it over. Let's throw something in the carburetor here and see what happens. I don't know if it's getting fuel. I mean, obviously it's leaking a lot of oil. Carburetor probably needs to be rebuilt. But let's, where is the fuel pump? I believe it is on the passenger side, right there. It's like a mechanical pump. It's different than a normal electric fuel pump. This doesn't have the clear bowl on top, unless that's just so dirty I can't even see through it. But let's just get some starting fluid sprayed in there and see what happens. Sorry, misspoke there. I meant driver's side. You're gonna hear me do that kind of stuff a lot, where I say one thing, but I mean the other, and you'll follow along. Just gonna set this here. Definitely not gonna need it though, right? I really didn't get a ton of information on this Jeep when I picked it up from the previous owner. He said it just wouldn't start anymore. It's been sitting for about 3 years. We'll see what happens here. He did tell me the brakes don't work. I have no idea why. We'll see what's wrong with the brakes. Let's just see what happens here. Well, I don't know, it's close. It sounds like a fuel issue, but I'm not 100% sure. Oh, there we go. I don't know if I'm flooding it or not giving it enough. Well, at least it kind of runs. I think I might be flooding it. Oh, there we go! Woohoo! Yeah, it's just not getting fuel. Yeah, I was definitely flooding it. So what do you say? I hop on the hood, keep doing this, and we take it for a spin around the block. It actually sounds really good though. What do you guys think? Sound good? I can just keep doing this. I don't know. So obviously a fuel issue. The vehicle sounds good. I don't think it's Missing a cylinder. It sounds smooth to me until I quit spraying. But yeah, initially I was flooding it with my spray here. But that's awesome. It runs. Well, kinda. I just need a bit of fuel injector here. That's just too much. I wonder if I should have choked it off to start it. That's pretty exciting. I'm happy with that. Well, that's awesome. I'm super happy we're able to get it started at least and running, as long as I'm spraying starting fluid in there. But I think it sounded really good. Didn't sound like it was missing any cylinders or anything. I believe it's a fuel delivery issue. So do we have a bad carburetor? Do we have a bad fuel pump? Do we have bad gas? I don't know. We're definitely gonna need to rebuild the carburetor. It just looks old and a bit gunked up. The same thing with the fuel pump down here. We're gonna be pulling that and replacing it in a future episode here. Let's take a look at what else is wrong with this thing. I'm just gonna disconnect my battery while I got the charger on it here. Yeah, let me take this all the way off. Well, I got the terminals off, or the battery cables off, and then I noticed this must be to the winch. Let's follow these lines. Honestly, at this point, I think you guys know as much as I do about this Jeep, so leave a comment, let me know your thoughts. And here is the old winch. Know nothing about it other than, I believe, yeah, those cables run across here. Oh, they go inside. Okay. Yeah, that's the power for the winch, and we go in right there. I'm just curious if that winch even works. I have no idea what switch or knob it would be tied to. I don't see anything else. Defrost, air control. Look at that cool old gauge. I love that thing. I'm gonna definitely keep that. Followed those cables and they actually run up to here. Oh, that does something. Here, you guys watch the winch while I hit those buttons. Let me know what it does here. Sounds like it's doing something to me. Well, that is awesome. Have a functioning winch as well. This thing is full of surprises. We're gonna start digging into cleaning this thing out, take the seats out. I need to get the carpet out. The carpet in there is just nasty. It stinks in the seats. I don't like the seats. They're kind of gross as well. But we're gonna look in, like I mentioned, there's some compartments. There's a compartment on these old CJ5s underneath the passenger seat. There's a compartment to store things. Oh, I'm behind the hood here as well. Let me show you that. We got all kinds of things to dig into and look at on this. But let's just keep this battery charging. Before I close up the hood here, let me give you a little closer look at some of the engine. Alternator there, I'm gonna have to test that and just see what kind of output it has. Don't know anything about that other than it seems to let the Jeep run. Distributor, the points in there. I haven't pulled the cap or anything. We'll take a look at that in the future. The coil, the starter, obviously. You know, leaking a bunch of oil and stuff around the head there, but we're gonna fix that up. What is this? Vacuum. Huh, yeah. Is that a, just like a purge canister? Yeah, not sure there. Ugh. The dipstick, we looked at the oil in the last video here, and yeah, just trust me, I don't want to pull that out right now. Oil is just black. And then, what is this? Yeah, little dually whopper there. You can tell me what that is in the comments. Obviously a lot of research to do on this thing. And then on the other side, an air box, which runs up to right here. I assume this is part of the heating system, or just maybe the fresh air intake, because it's, yeah, right there in front of the radiator. So that must be just like a fresh air intake. And then the fuel pump, that's super neat. Mechanical fuel pump as opposed to electronic. And then I believe there's like some vacuum. Oh, here's a vacuum hose underneath. Yeah, there's a couple of vacuum hoses on the bottom of the fuel pump. Exhaust manifold looks good. How about the exhaust? Had to throw a pan under here because it is leaking lots of fluid. But the exhaust, yeah, I don't know. We'll get a better look once start pulling things apart. You know, obviously a bit rusty, lots of spider webs, but I mean, intact-ish. Probably look at the top of it and it's completely hollow. It didn't sound that bad though. Boy, look at these brake lines. Oh boy, yeah. I'm probably gonna get a brake line kit and just redo the entire brake system. I'm gonna keep it with drum brakes. My plan is to kind of restore this. I don't know, I'm tossing around ideas, possibly paint. I think I wanna paint it. I wanna keep it mostly original. I'm not gonna try to restore it back to its original state, but I wanna keep things kind of authentic, like these seats gotta go. The stock CJ5 seats, they're those squared off seats, definitely not Betty Boop high back seats. Yeah, those gotta go. Let me fold the hood down here and show you one of the coolest features that I really like about this Jeep that I plan on using in the future. As we all know, one feature on Jeeps is the windshield folds down, but look at this. One lever there and one lever here, and there we go. Look how easy that is. That's so cool. Honestly, my other Jeeps, my windshields, I never fold them down. Honestly, it's a huge pain, but that's so cool. My other Jeeps, I have a lot of fun with them, but something tells me I think I'm gonna have more fun with this old CJ than any of my other Jeeps. I don't know, we'll see. Let's start digging into some of the junk that's in here. The previous owner, he just left all kinds of, there's tools, there was actually some shotgun shells in here. There's a lock, there's those secret compartments. Let's take a look and see what we find. Another thing I want to check out first though, real quick, is this panel right here. I guess this was an old, they used to store batteries in here with the old, the military CJs, or they weren't CJs, they were the military Jeeps, CJs, civilian Jeep. I guess this panel is welded on, but I saw one guy, his popped off. So I'm just kind of seeing if this one will pop off. I have an idea to turn this into like a storage compartment. If I can get this open, that's my plan. Put a little hinge on it and just be able to carry, you know, tools or supplies or whatever you'd like in there. But this one, yeah, must be welded on. The other guy I saw, yeah, it was super cool. His just popped off, but because they don't use it for battery storage anymore, I think they're welded on. Let me get this flimsy little door out of the way here. We'll start pulling a lot of this junk out and check out the floorboards, because we're gonna be doing some welding on this Jeep. Getting some gloves on, because I don't know what I'm gonna find in here. For starters, an old fire extinguisher. I don't know how this thing works. I wonder if it, oh, hey, it actually works. No way I would ever rely on this thing. 1989. Yeah, it's expired. All right, first look at the junk on the floorboard. You know, oh, it's an arm for a windshield wiper. Okay, that might be a wiper. Yeah, on off, that's a switch. Obviously an old wiper. Here's a key and a lock, which, yeah, don't go together. And the secret compartment under the passenger seat, I can't get to very well. I'd like to take the seat out, but looking at the hardware, good luck getting any of those bolts out. But fortunately, this style, I'm not sure if I could tip it up enough to slide it out of that slot. That's kind of how this is designed. Sweet, goodbye Betty Boop. And this is the compartment that honestly I have never looked in. No idea what we're gonna find in here. I wanna get some of this carpet out of the way. There's just so much junk on top of it. I don't wanna just dump it all down inside. All right, here we go. I hope I don't have one of those Geraldo Rivera. Remember when he did that like treasure opening thing on live TV and it was just like empty, nothing in there? Hope this isn't anticlimactic like that, but let's see what's in there. Next to nothing. Well, I don't know, just old junk, some styrofoam. Good Lord, that's an old radiator hose. Bungee cord, anybody want a bungee cord? Some rope. Yeah, more bungee cords. Oh, here's a wrench. No, that's a tie rod. Good Lord, I thought it was a wrench. It's so rusted. Yeah, I'd say a little bit of water got in here. A lot of times mice will make nests in these things, because it's just a good hiding place for them. Well, that's metal. No idea what that was from. And a timing belt. Oh, and some other metal. Well, a bunch of old rusty junk, nothing worth saving. Nothing at all. Well, nothing worth saving in there, but there are some other cool little things. I do have myself a ratcheting wrench. That's a 13 millimeter, that'll be handy. We got a socket. Anything that remotely looks like it's something I might use or that might go to the Jeep, I'm keeping, but a lot of stuff is getting thrown out. Another area I have not looked into is like the trunk space back there. Have not looked in there at all because I can't get to it. You know, they've got the spare tire mounted here. I think if I undo that bolt, I wonder if the tailgate will flip down, but not with that tire on there. I'm gonna take that tire off first, then we'll take these bolts out and see where we go. Let's see if we can get this tailgate off. This rack is in the way a bit. I really like this rack. It's a cool rack for hauling stuff, but for limited space in my shop, this is gonna have to come off as well. Let's see what we got here. Needs a little bit of encouragement here. What can we do here? There we go. Oh, I got the wire. Why is this not lifting up? Must be an old brake light or something. Well, there we go. Looks like a bunch more just garbage. I'll let you know if I find anything super interesting. Oh, there's actually water in there. How funny. Anybody need a ratchet strap? I wouldn't trust that. All right, I'm gonna pull this seat out, the rest of the carpet, and then we'll take a look at those floorboards. Under that seat, I found some good Charlie Daniels Band. Behind the back seat there, I found this old, looks like a bit that goes in a jackhammer. I have no use for it. I was gonna just throw it out, but then I thought, well, if I sandblast that real quick, clean it up a little bit, that'd be great for just, you know, pounding on stuff. Driving bar, punch, you know, you're trying to, or even trying to shape some metal, body work, yeah, it might be useful. And on the driver's side here, look at that little wrench. Seen better days, but then here's fortunately this little door, little panel is still here. It's a little cover, that's an access point, I believe, to work on the brake master cylinder down in there. Looks like these holes line up like that. So yeah, I think if I sandblast this, it actually looks in still decent shape. The floorboards though, well, let's see underneath here. There we go. So yeah, definitely have some work to do on the floorboards here. I'm gonna have to weld in some new panels here. I believe you can get a whole panel that goes across the entire front end, so I'll have to look into that. But it got me thinking, I need a project name for this, a project name for this Jeep, and I'm gonna be doing a lot of welding on it, so I thought this Jeep, it looks like a Weldon to me. Doesn't this look like a Weldon? So I think I'm gonna call this Project Weldon. What do you think? Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of that name, Project Weldon, or just Weldon. Oh, Weldon, come on! And the fuel tank underneath the driver's seat. How crazy is that? Eventually we'll be pulling the fuel tank, see what kind of condition it is in, try to get a look down inside of it, make sure it's not contaminated or all rusty in there. But I really need to vacuum this thing out, so let's do that next. I didn't even know this lifted up. And the hinges are so wrecked. Let's just go like that. Toilet paper. The saw is family. There's linesman pliers. Maybe a little work and they'll be usable. Gasket maker. It's actually still pliable, that's crazy. Some wrenches. What do we got? We got 1/2 inch, 9/16, 3/4, and Can't quite tell. An old 2-inch ball, socket driver, some old tape. Oh, the headlight, or the turn signal. I was missing that. Nope, I was mistaken. I don't know what I was thinking. This is red. Of course, it wouldn't go on the front. Yeah, I got the, well, that's glass. That is awesome. Gotta get a replacement there, but obviously it's not gonna be red. So it must go on the tail somewhere. All right, we got a lot done, but we got a ton more to do. So be sure to subscribe to follow along with the adventure of getting this thing restored, back up and running just great. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a good day.